Welcome, everybody, to the next edition of Wrestling on the Fly. I am your host, Scott Spade, of course, and my producer, Nick Hedford. This is episode number 8. And number 8, my very special guest, is the one and only Vito, Two Fingers Fontaine. Welcome to Wrestling on the Fly.
Great to be here. Great
Awesome.
to be here. Glad good stuff you're doing.
Thank you. Couldn't wait for this one. We got a special surprise guest of your friend, the Rubber Chicken, here that we're going to talk about later. So, a lot of history with that, buddy, huh?
A lot of history. A lot of flesh.
I know how much people love getting hit with that.
But they love it. They would say, "Could you hit me a few more times?"
And then after that was the end of it, right?
Oh,
Never
yeah,
again.
one time. As they're screaming, running away. Nothing worse than a big guy running away from somebody wielding a rubber chicken.
That's awesome. All right, we're going to start at the very, very beginning. Tell me about your early life, where you grew up, family life. Very start of Two Fingers.
Grew up in Galewood section of Chicago, which is around north in Harlem. Grew up there, moved to Elmwood Park when I was about 8 years old, and lived there till I was about out of college, 22, 23, and then moved to the north side. As a kid, I played any sport, every sport that I could.
Yeah, didn't matter what it was.
It didn't matter what it was. And back then, it was like there was always someone out at the park playing. I mean, I remember just going to the park with a football in my hand and just kind of standing there watching these older guys playing. So I'm maybe 12, 13 or something. And they were probably 25 or something. And I would just be sitting there going, God, I count 1, 2, 3. Oh, they're uneven teams. Yeah, maybe they'll ask me. Then I kind of hang around there, and after a while, I'd either say something, or they'd be, "Hey, kid," so I'd go out there, and I'd be like, "Throw me the ball, I can catch it." And then they'd, reluctantly throw me one, and I'd catch it, and they'd be like, "Get the kid," So just everything. I played year-round, whatever there was to play. So I was a big sports kid, and through high school, I played mainly hockey. And then when I went to college, I was at a party one day, and someone said, "Man, you'd be a good rugby player." And I was like, "What the hell is rugby? This is 1980.
It wasn't known here in the United
Nobody
States
knew
for
what
nothing.
rugby was, you know. And they said, "You should come out to a practice." I'm like, "I don't know, I don't know what it is." I said, "Just come out to a practice." So went out to a practice. They had a keg at the field. A bunch of guys that I knew from, around. Started playing and played for the next 18 years.
So
I fell in love with that.
How much of a brutal sport physically is rugby now? It's basically football with no pads. To a light.
To a person who hasn't. It's basically football. There's tackling, but it's a safer type of tackling. It's not. Football is collision. Head on, head first, because you're wearing like a suit of armor. Right. Where rugby, we'd always get these football players that first few practices they'd be leading with their head. It'd be like, "Don't do that, man. It's not going to end up good." Yeah. And they'd end up breaking their nose or something right away because they're going right into somebody's knee. So it's more shoulder, head to the side. Okay. But I mean, you're tackling, you're getting hit, and I don't know, to me, there's nothing like hitting somebody with everything you got. And then I especially loved running with the ball and someone coming to tackle me. And I remember Walter Payton growing up saying that he wanted to make people pay the price for tackling him, and that always stuck with me. So whenever I ran, I delivered before they were able to deliver. So I'd always lead with the forearm or lead with something and just hit them before they could really get to me. So I just loved the contact of it. So naturally, when I went to wrestling, I was like,
the body was
"I'm
used
fine,
to it,
man.
right? Yep.
Hit me." I mean, he had a lot of injuries,
right?
But so I loved contact sports always. Always loved contact and played anything I could.
Now, with rugby, did you play locally or did you actually get to travel?
I traveled a lot. So when I came back home after school, I played with a team that was based out of the north side, and every year we would go on a tour. So I've been to Brazil, the Bahamas, Mexico, Spain, California.
The same team throughout
New
this
York,
whole thing?
Same,
What was the name of the team?
Lincoln Park Rugby Football Club.
Okay.
And so I met all my best friends doing that. I met my wife at a party.
Really?
So great times, great, kind of like it's like a wrestling brotherhood where
Yeah.
we traveled. So there was a lot of traveling and road trips. You get 20 guys on a road trip. What could go wrong?
Anything and everything that people don't need to know about, right?
Pretty much, right. So that's did a lot of traveling with that and playing all around.
Okay, so what
I was
actually,
successful at it.
after 18 years, what made you say, I'm ready to do something else?
Injuries, and then the field seemed to be getting bigger and bigger.
So it's getting more popular?
No, just the field was getting bigger and
Oh,
bigger.
the actual
It
field
was
itself?
like,
I
shit.
got you.
I'm getting tired.
Yeah.
It's harder to keep in shape
Yep.
for that. And then I had a friend, actually, Kingpin,
Okay.
who became Kingpin.
We just saw it today, a matter of
we
fact,
just
right?
saw it today.
Yep.
He had a hair salon,
Okay.
as you can probably tell.
I was like, he's a bald guy. and he
When,
has a hair
do-
salon,
yeah,
right?
when does the makeup and hair guy come in?
Mistress.
So
No.
he had a place over there, and we talked. I was always a wrestling fan. When I was a kid, my brother we'd go to the amphitheater and
that's
watch
cool,
all the
yeah.
stuff, Bruiser, Crusher, all
Awesome.
the original Sheik, all that stuff. So I was always a wrestling fan, and sometimes at the end of a rugby party, all of a sudden we just start going into wrestling stuff, and always it'd be like there's this one kid who was like an exchange student from Japan, and I'd always be like, "You're my partner, and we'd be in the bar, hitting chairs
In the
and-
bar?
Oh yeah, and going, and every time I would turn on him, every time, and then next time I'd be like,
Natural
I won't, I promise this time. And we would just laugh, and it was just
That's awesome.
a good time. So it was wrestling was always a thing.
And you're a natural heel, too, that way, right?
Hey, yeah. And then talking to Tim, and he's like, man, you'd be a good wrestler. You should do that. I had no idea there was anything around, wrestling.
So you
around
never went to
here.
any kind of local indie stuff?
No, I didn't even know it existed.
Okay.
Didn't even know it existed. And but Tim and Jeffro King
Oh, Furies,
from
yeah.
the Furies, he used to hang out there, and
Okay.
so we said, okay. I'm like, I'm up for it. Let's go. So he said, there's a school on the south side.
Okay.
So went out there, met Sam, and at the time I was 35.
But, yeah, that's pretty
So,
late for an
starting
average person
late,
to start,
you know.
yeah. Yep.
But I was like, yeah, I'm up for a challenge or do something new. So talked to Sam and said, yeah, I'll do it. So the funny thing about that is then I told my mom, because she hated the fact of me playing rugby. Because I'd come home bruised, stitched and, limping and shoulder and everything. And so she hated it. I said, Mom, I'm done. I'm not playing rugby anymore. And she was like, thank God. Thank God. I said,
Now you're going
I'm going into pro wrestling. And she just
passed out.
couldn't believe it. Just thought it was the dumbest thing. And I'm like, yeah. So
Interesting. So now, going into meet Sam and the Windy City training place for the first time? What was your very first impression of going into that building and meeting Sam for the first time?
well, the thing is, going in there at 35 years of age is a lot different than going in there at 20 years of age.
Very true.
So I was just like, hey, Sam's a few years older than me.
Mhm.
So it was like, hey, Sam, and he's like, I want to do this. I'm like, fine, let's do it. And, it was nice. It was when they had moved. Initially, the school was like 6 blocks from here.
Hmm.
And then, of course, when I joined,
They moved down
it's
that
at
south side.
95th and, so it was a long drive, but if you want to do something, you just do it. But
Sure.
met him, and when I first went in there and was looking around, I'm like, oh shit. The pictures on the wall, there was a lot of big guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, I'm going to have my work cut off. I mean, there's a lot of big dudes around here.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I started training, I'm like, where are all these big dudes? They had all kind of, Hurricane Smith, Frank the Tank,
Yeah.
Mike. They were they weren't really wrestling him, but they had just, because it was 97, and they had just kind of recently not, stopped working, so.
So did Sam ever have any issues with you starting so late of an age? Did he ever have any, like, maybe, not trying to talk you out of it, but
I don't think so.
maybe just try managing
'Cause he
instead of
knew-
wrestling, or what? He never tried any of that?
No.
He never offered any
No,
other kind of...
no, I think he knew I was an athlete, so,
It'd be a natural
Yeah.
thing.
yeah.
Yeah. We'll go back a little bit further. What is actually your very first memory of seeing wrestling on TV?
On TV.
Yeah. Who were the first guys you remember seeing, or early heroes of you?
Well, it was like the
growing
early
up?
70s, and all Bob Loose All-Star Wrestling, man. It'd be on channel 26, then it was on channel 44, and I remember when I was a kid, we'd always go to church at 11 o'clock, and they'd come on at like 10, and it'd be like, I'll be ready in a minute. It's not, I couldn't tear myself away. I'm like, oh no, and then always, too, the kid, I'm sorry, fans, we don't have enough time to give you to bring that. I'd be like, oh. So Saturday or Sunday mornings, and Bob Loose Wrestling, and then going to the amphitheater. My brother was 6 years older than me, so he took me a few times. So I'm maybe, I don't know, 6th grade, 7th grade, 5th. It's all. And going to the amphitheater, that was great.
What a historic building that was.
Oh,
And you got
yeah.
to see it in its prime. That's
And
awesome.
and I remember I loved Jimmy Valiant.
He's awesome.
Handsome Jimmy Valiant.
Yes.
Did not care for the Boogie Woogie Man.
Oh, so you like...
Did
okay.
not care for the Boogie Woogie Man. Handsome Jimmy Valiant from AWA, the early 70s. Early mid-70s. And I remember he's coming down the aisle, and I ran over and I was like, Jimmy! And he's like, get out of here, Daddy! And I was like, whoa, that's great! He yelled at me.
Yeah.
So that was cool. Then I remember the Sheik, the one that threw fire.
Oh, so you actually got to see the original Sheik?
Yeah.
Wow, oh my God.
So
He's one of my favorites
I
ever.
came up because it was just, the place was great. I remember getting out of my seat and going up near the ring when he was coming out. And he just came out like a maniac.
Yes, he
and
did.
he started chucking chairs in the ring, out of the ring, and it was like thrilling.
Yeah.
It was really thrilling.
Oh,
And
man,
so
jealous of that.
those shows were great. Then I remember they had the Hall of Fame in the building. I'm like, I gotta see the Hall of Fame. It was some little room with like some Super 8 films on the wall, showing Vern Gagne, some black and white matches,
Yeah.
It wasn't really much of a Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So I was a little, But then I went to a couple of those big shows at Comiskey Park, Super Bowl wrestling.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Probably,
Super Clash, right?
well, I don't know.
They had Super Clashes in
But that
AWA,
might have-
885.
Yeah, no, I'm talking
Okay.
the 70s.
Before that, okay, yeah.
Yeah, in
They
the
were on
70s.
Comiskey every now and then, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and some good stuff.
Yeah.
Some good stuff. So I saw a lot of,
Yeah. Crusher, Bruiser, Nick Bockwinkel,
Bruiser,
Mad
Crusher,
Dog, Baron, Van
Bockwinkel,
Raschke, all those
the
guys.
Baron, Ox Baker,
Oh my God.
Billy Robinson.
Yeah. Super shooter
So
there.
saw a lot of.
What a look for Ox as a heel. Oh my God. The
Ox
eyebrows.
was great.
Awesome.
We had a guy, our potato chip guy. He came in here one time, and I looked at my dad. I'm like, Ox Baker. He looked like
Just like-
Ox. He had the bald head. He had these crazy eyebrows, and every time he came in, we're like, "Hey, Ox is here." He looked like Ox. But the Ox Baker he was a scary dude,
Yes,
man.
he was. Promos were.
I mean,
Unbelievable.
promos to heart punch.
Yes.
Oh my God!
That's the way wrestlers.
And the way they
are
worked
supposed to
it,
look.
like he killed a couple guys in the ring. You
Yeah.
know, It
Ray
was-
Gunkel was the one that. Yeah. They had the big riot, full blown riot in.
Cleveland.
I want to say Ohio somewhere.
Yeah.
With Ernie Ladd. Did
Oh
you ever
my
see the video
God,
when he's
yeah.
punching them out and the people are
Ernie
just
Ladd
throwing-
was a great one, man.
Yes, he was.
That's why I stole the two fingers thing, kind of
The tape thumb?
comes from,
I used
yeah.
to use the tape thumb too.
the tape thumb. So
Yeah.
I taped up these and did the same.
Awesome. Perfect. All right, now we get to the part where you actually do go in, we talked about with Sam and going to the building, the training center for the first time. What was it like the very first time you actually got in a wrestling ring now, after watching it your whole entire life and you actually step in the ring for the first time? What did you think finally being in that you've seen on TV all your life.
Yeah.
I'm in it now.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, I was looking forward to the challenge. I was always up for doing it. I
Can't believe I'm
remember
in a ring.
running. Yeah, I'm in the ring.
Yeah.
And then running the ropes was kind of cool. But I remember that first time running the ropes, and you just ran them, and it was like I got to get this down. 1, 2, 3, boom.
That's one of the hardest basic things to learn.
Oh yeah, and just to get fluid at it instead of your short stepping and fluid.
Yep.
So, I mean, I ran those things all night long, and then, like I said, it was far.
Mm-hmm.
I get home, and I go to get out of the car. I'm like, oh, son of a bitch!
Oh yeah.
My hip and my side.
Yes.
It was like, oh man, that's sore. And then the next time you go back, you got to do it again, and you got to get used to it.
You all bruised up too on the side?
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
And but your body adjusts to it, and some guys couldn't get past that.
No, yeah. Very true.
It's like,
I think the two hardest things that people have to learn is running the ropes and punching.
Yeah.
As far as the basic stuff.
I used to stand in the corners. Everybody else, a lot of guys would be sitting around watching Monday Night Raw or something, or watching wrestling on TV, and I'd be like, "What the hell, man? Get in the ring and work on some stuff."
Yeah.
So I'd go in the ring, during downtime, and I'd just sit there and I'd punch the turnbuckle, or I'd go back by the curtain and punch the curtain, and try and make the curtain, contact with the curtain, but not make it move.
Yes.
Go up to the brick wall.
Yes.
Do that. I want to feel that wall, but
Such
I
a
don't
great
want
way to do
to
it.
feel that wall too much. And it's like,
Yes.
because I really wanted to have a good punch. I don't like.
You
so
could be the best wrestler in the world, but if you throw a shitty punch, I think it kind of
It does.
it kills
It
you.
didn't hurt Steve Austin, but
I think everybody that goes through Memphis though can throw a punch.
yeah.
I think that's their,
And Sam had a good punch.
Yeah.
Sam had a good punch, so he taught us. And but it was cool to be in the ring, and it was more difficult than I thought because there was so many things you had to constantly think about. It wasn't just like, okay, my athletic ability is gonna, because I remember Sam going, take it easy, take it easy, because I'm just in there
Yes.
going. He's like, take it easy. It's a dance. You gotta work with the other guy. Take it.
Everybody, no matter what stage you're at, as soon as they start, we all have to be taught to slow down because we
Yeah.
all want to get through it and rush and quick.
Right.
And
And then you're worried about, it's so much easier. I think, at least for me, it was easier just to take heat when I'm learning, because you just kind of go with
Sure.
it, and it's like, okay, beat me all over the ring, I'll sell for you. But then when you have to go on offensive, it's like, okay, what should I do now? And then, when you're first learning, it's like, okay, well, I'll do the old shoulders in the corner or an elbow. You do the real basic stuff, and you're thinking, like, what should I do next? And it's more robotic
Yes.
before you really kind of get the feel. And then once you start getting that, then you have to worry about, like, working the crowd. And so there's, like, so many different things you have to think about. You can't just go out there and, eventually that happens.
Yeah.
And when you get it down, but learning it, you can't just go out there like to go play football. Okay, I'm going to go play.
Right.
Here's the play.
yeah, and I think all of us have gone through that. I think we want to get
Yeah.
it like immediately, but it takes all that time
And you gotta,
to get it
you
down.
gotta do it, man.
Yeah,
Where
especially
some
the
kids don't want to
basics.
put the
Try to hammer
time in,
those
you
basics.
gotta.
Yep. Got to perfect the basics before you can move on.
right.
And
Oh, some guys would be in there, 2 weeks. Like, well, my finisher is like, do you know how to put someone in a headlock?
yes. Now, before you make your debut in 1997, how did you come up with your name? Did you come up with it? Was it given to you? How did the
A little
name
bit of
come about?
both. Sam had a guy, so we were talking, and Sam said because I was Italian, he wanted to do the outfit thing. He wanted to have the Italian,
And was that outfit established already, or were you part of like the original concept?
I don't know I think it was already established
Okay.
because Iron Mike was in it, and I think it was called the outfit. I'm not
Okay.
sure. But Sam had a guy who was like the bodyguard for Iron Mike, and his name was Luigi Fingers Fontaine.
Okay.
He had recently passed. He had cancer. So Sam's like, I want you to do this outfit thing, and I kind of would like to carry on his name somehow.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, How about Vito? Sounds like a good Italian name. I don't want George. Vito, and he was Fingers Fontaine. I'll be his nephew, and I'll be Two Fingers.
Okay.
And he was like,
very creative.
that works. So I'm like, okay, I'll be Two Fingers. And I thought about actor Ernie Ladd, and I'm like, I'll tape up the tips of my two fingers, and have the ref, make sure the ref check my fingers, and just be like, no, hold on, man, these are injured. And then 2
So
minutes
awesome.
in, you're jamming
awesome.
them into the guy's throat. So he was like good with that. So I was like, okay, So I had the name. So that was half the battle.
Yes.
I didn't have any gear, but Sam's like, I think my boots will fit you.
Oh, really?
So I still got Sam's boots that he
Really?
wore. I don't know if I'm sure he had several pairs of boots.
Right.
But they were a pair of his boots, and thankfully they were nice black leather, but they zipped.
Oh, did they
So
really?
I did not have to mess. You see
Perfect.
guys, it's lace and lace, which
Yep.
they look great, but I was all about.
They're on in 5
zip.
seconds.
Oh yeah. With
You
the
just
knee
had black
pads up.
trunks from the beginning.
And
to
I
end, right?
wanted to be old school, like what I grew up with. I didn't want to wear tights. I didn't want to wear some kind of outfit. I was like, I want black trunks, little black trunks.
And you had a good body from rugby anyway, so you can get away with
Yeah, I know, but like when the guy did the documentary, I was like, man, we should have been around a few years earlier. I was in much better shape, But so the trunks, and then for the first match I had, Sam gave me the sparkly jacket that he had.
it. Sparkly.
Yeah, it was like some sparkly thing, and I was like, oh man, okay, Sam gave it to me, I'll wear it, but it was like it just kind of wasn't.
Didn't fit.
And the first, I don't know if I'm getting ahead of everything.
Yep, we're coming up there in that first match.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the next line right here. First match. You're
So
right
first
on line.
match. So I joined in May because I remember I talked to
97, right?
before
Okay.
Battle of the Belts. So it was in May.
Yeah,
They
May's
had
Battle
belts.
That's right. Yep.
So and I went to Belts and watched that Belts, and then I trained. And my first match was in October. I mean, I was like, I don't know how long I'm gonna have to train to get it. There was like one guy, I remember they said, I'm like, is he had a match? And they're like, no. I'm like, how long has he been there? And they're like, 2 years. And I'm like, no, man, I don't got that kind of time.
Yeah, there are some people like that that'll be ready for a
But
month
they- yeah.
or a couple of years. They
Yeah,
just
but
don't.
then they weren't really training. They
Right.
weren't, then you see like, okay, now I know why he
Yeah.
hasn't had a match.
And how many days a week would you have training?
I'd go Tuesday, Thursday.
Okay.
Saturdays I couldn't do because of work,
Mhm.
but I was there every Tuesday, Thursday. And then they had for a while Sunday mornings.
Oh, really? Okay.
So I would go on a Sunday morning.
And
So I was
different,
like, I wanna-
different people training each day?
Yeah.
And Sam would always be there? Or was it always
Sam was
always
mostly
different?
there when I first joined because he didn't have any kids yet.
Okay.
So he was there. He was there a lot.
So who would you actually, if a full-blown bio came up of you on Wikipedia one day, who would you say would you list as your actual trainers?
Boz, Mike Anthony, Jerry Allen, and Sam.
Okay. That's a good crew.
Because Sam would come in. Sam would come in, and all of a sudden be like, "Oh shit,
I've heard.
here's your spot. Blah 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 blah. Do it. No, you got up wrong. Do it again. Oh, you forgot the elbow. Do it again. Then he'd do it again, and he's like, okay, now reverse it.
Yes.
So there was a lot of that, but I mean, and just like anything, man, it sucks going through it, but then you're so much better off
It
for
only
it.
makes you better. Exactly.
If it's easy,
Yes, you
everybody be
aid it.
doing it, and everybody,
Yes. Or if the guy you're with is screwing up, you want to kill him.
Oh yeah,
But at the same time, it's
definitely. I
like,
remember me and
it makes you better.
Me and Jeff, Hunter Payne, just over and over and over.
There's a
and
story
over.
about that too. I'm glad you mentioned that. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
so that was it. Then I remember one time they would have us do calisthenics before practice. And Terry was good because Terry was hard ass.
He's a machine, man.
And he'd be like, do this. And I, I'm there 30, 35, 36. And I'm like, fuck these young kids. I'm going to show them. And so they'd be, and bitching about it. And Terry's like, come on.
Oh, yeah.
And then I remember, I think Sam came in and said to do, I think they were called Chinese squats or something, where you go down and you come up and you go down and you come up. And he said, start doing them. And he's like, do them till you can't do them anymore. And I was like, I am going to be the last guy doing these. I don't care how many I have to do. I'm going to be the last guy doing them. And I was, and I think it was like 140 or something. And finally, as we're getting closer, I'm like, God, this guy better drop out soon. This guy better drop out soon. But I was like determined to be the last one. So then I get done, and then he's like, okay, everybody in the ring, we're going to run spots.
Oh, my God.
I was like a noodle.
Shaking.
I'm like,
You're
oh,
really good.
no. Oh, no, I really, me and my, my pride. And that was rough. Because it was like my legs were gone. And then, you got to lift somebody or do something. I'm like,
Yes. Speaking of lifting somebody, there was a story in training that Hunter told us about with a belly-to-back suplex spot you guys were doing.
yeah. I dropped him on his head.
And you went. He said he gave a super big push that you didn't expect.
I didn't expect
and went
the
back.
big, because they had us, you match up with somebody who's more, and he jumped. He jumped and it's like, oh shit, Yeah. I was like, I'm sorry.
Happens,
I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
Wait till we get to talking about the crippler.
Yeah. He still remembers it to this day because we talked about it.
So go back to that first match, though.
Yes.
Are you done on the first match?
Absolutely. Nope, we're going on that because we got to talk about the actual match itself.
Oh, okay.
Because you're in there, you got a guy in your corner that I've had some history with too, and he's a great guy. So who's your corner man? Your famous corner man?
King Kong Bundy.
How did that come about?
I think Bundy was supposed to wrestle Hurricane Smith.
Oh, okay.
And Bundy had some kind of injury, so he couldn't. So they told me, who's never wrestled before, I'm going to wrestle Hurricane Smith. And I'm like, Hurricane Smith, man, he's
7
got
feet
some
tall.
credibility.
Yes.
Sure
does.
What the hell am I going to do? But I'm like, Bundy's in my corner. That's pretty cool. So that was the match where I had the sparkly jacket on. And I remember putting on those tights. Because in training, I didn't wear the tights. I put on these tights, and I'm like, holy shit. I feel like I'm going out there in my underwear.
So the very first time you put those on was right before the match?
Yeah, I mean, I put them on to make sure they fit.
Yeah, I mean, you never had them on before that
I
day.
didn't walk around the house. Hey, honey, what do you think? Yeah, I tried them on. They fit. Okay, they're back in the bag.
Yeah.
So I didn't wear them to any trainings and all that.
Okay.
So here it is. I put them on, and I'm standing on the stage going, oh, my God, does this feel weird?
I hope they don't break.
And I'm just like, wow, Good thing I got the sparkly jacket on.
And then your music hits and you can't get out of it, right?
Yeah.
You can't. There's no turning back.
And I don't know what music I had at the time because I didn't have any music yet. So I don't know what played. I think there's a, Cratch videoed everything. So I've got that somewhere. I should check that out.
Is there footage on the documentary? Want to grab that documentary tape real quick? I think there's footage on that.
There's
Is
footage there, but there's not like my entrance or anything.
Okay.
But there is footage of me on that stage with that sparkly jacket and my little black pants, as my wife likes to call them.
Let's stick it right in there. There we go, folks. If
There it
anybody
is.
wants to see that, Two Fingers,
wanna
the Windy City Wonder.
See me in my little black shorts and my sparkly jacket
On
for
Tubi.
the one and only time.
On Tubi and on YouTube. Great documentary. Those guys followed you on for quite a while. Doing
Yeah,
that,
he
right?
did. Yeah, he's a film guy. Did these little independent films.
Yeah.
And he'd do a bit here and a bit there, and then when he pieced it all together, and then we had a big showing, I was like blown away. I'm like, wow, this is like a real movie. He's like, well, what did you think it was going to be? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I deserved a real movie.
Absolutely.
So
if anybody wants to see footage that we cannot legally show on this show, which is a lot of Windy City footage, watch this documentary. It is awesome. So you can actually physically see all the stuff and matches that we're talking about.
It's
so,
also on Amazon Prime, but I think it was free for a long time. Now I think you got to pay for it.
I think Tubi was free when we watched it.
YouTube,
And
I
YouTube
think.
is Tubi, correct.
Yeah.
So what was actually the outcome of your fight? How did you think you did in the first match?
I think I did okay for just being so green, and I could see, when I look back and I'm like, okay, I can see where I'm thinking a little bit, but it went. I take one bump that was like, oh man, that was a terrible bump.
As we
But
look
I
at it
wasn't
now, right?
used
Yeah.
to, when you're nervous and it's like, you look back and you're like, okay. But it was, I thought it was pretty good. I worked the crowd. I worked him,
Well,
took his moves.
You're an absolute natural at working the crowd.
Yeah, so
You're one of the best facial guys I think ever, especially the heel side for sure. So that's a natural for you.
Yeah, I
Yes.
got down pretty well. My wife hates it. But, so I thought it went pretty well. And just, it was cool, to be wrestling a guy like that.
Mm-hmm.
My first match wasn't like, I'm wrestling Joe Schmo. And with Joe Schmo is my corner guy. I got
Did you get
Bundy.
any feedback from those guys?
Well, not really. Well, Smith was like, good job. And I was like, hey, thanks, I appreciate it. And when I came back into the locker room, Mike Gratchner came up to me and he said, that was excellent. He said, you've got a good future in this business. You're going to be champ soon.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, man.
It's a good first
That's
impression.
pretty good coming from him.
Right.
He's seen a lot of people, and he was like, you've got it. You're going to be a champ soon. And that was great for a first match.
Awesome.
And I was like, man, that's great. I got to go to practice, and and then the next week, 2 years.
The outfit, just go back to the outfit. The names that we
The
mentioned
outfit, the
before.
sparkly jacket, or?
No, the
Oh,
group,
okay.
the outfit. No. Yeah, we'll leave that one in the past.
Yeah, that
right?
one's done. We're past that.
You still have it?
You do.
We should have brought it.
No, we shouldn't.
Vinny the.
Yeah, you know what? It looked good on you.
Let's forget it. Let's forget it.
Yeah, I knew.
I'm sticking with the leather. I don't think Ripper would want me to wear a sparkly vest with chains on it. Vinny the Torch Carbone. We got Luigi Fontaine. We got Iron Mike Sampson. Mike Laterna. Mike Anthony. Brett Douglas. Vic Capri. Are all past members of the outfit. I'm sure there's more names in there too. And
Yeah, there was Nino Cianino, who was with me for a while. Like Vic Capri. After I got injured, that's when Vic came. So I was never in it with Vic, which would have been great.
Yep.
Because
Great work. Great guy.
great guy, and I thought we could have had some fun. But
Joey
was
Baggs
well.
ever part of that?
Not that
With
I know.
Iron Mike Sampson from like the
No.
very beginning? Okay. I
Iron
wasn't sure
Mike
if his name came
Sampson
up.
was gone. I did one thing when I was injured. I did this little spot. He was wrestling in a match, and we did one little spot together when I was like managing, and that was it though. But he never wrestled again with Windy City
Okay.
after that when I was around. And there was the one. So some of these other names are probably like the bodyguards. The only guy that was around when I was there was Anthony Lip Stefano.
Oh,
And he
okay.
was a city worker guy that Sam knew, and he was good because he was funny because he was so like not a natural that it worked.
Which made it better.
And he's
that
like,
way.
we did this one interview when me and Crippler at first were like paired up, and we were going to be a little bit of a tag team.
Okay.
So Sam's interviewing us, and this guy, the Lip, is there, and he's like, he's gonna tell you to tell him because it was really good.
It was so bad it was good.
It was so bad it was
That's
good.
awesome. He was just a guy in a suit.
Guy in a suit,
Just a mouthpiece.
fedora, yeah.
That's awesome. Yep.
And so he came, every once in a while he came out, but he wasn't around that much.
Just more of a would the manager or just more of an on-screen interview
Yeah, just
here and there.
he'd stand there,
Okay.
walk around. Sandra D, do you got Sandra D in there?
No, I do not have her on there. I knew there was a
Yeah.
couple. She was part of that.
She was part of
the
the
later
outfit.
group. Yeah. Yeah. Next block here is the injury. So, what happened with the? It caused you to take a couple years off.
So the injury was, I had already had several injuries
From rugby.
from rugby.
Okay.
And the last couple years playing rugby, once a game, sometimes twice a game, I would get stingers. You familiar with the stingers?
Yes, I've had myself.
So all of a sudden I'd be like, oh man, give me a minute, keep playing on, but here it is. And so I didn't want to just take the easy way out. I wanted to learn how to do everything. Because I remember on some Sunday morning practices, there was a guy, Stone Manson,
Yeah. Okay.
part of the brother, and we joined kind of at the same time. And we'd be the Sunday morning club, and it'd be like time for doing. They'd be like a call spot, like a sunset flip, and some guys would be hacking through it, and we'd be like, "Come on, we'll do it." So him and I, two of the bigger guys there, are doing sunset flips and all that, and I was like, I wanted to do that stuff. I wanted to be able, I've never been acrobatic though. I mean, if you ever saw me do a somersault, it's terrible. I can't. I can't go straight over. It's like off to the side. I can't do a somersault.
That's funny.
So that kind of stuff I was never good at. Any kind of acrobatics or anything. Run through a wall. Have somebody throw stuff at me. It's fine. A somersault? Oh, no, please no. Please no. In heights.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
So no top rope for you.
Hell no. Hell no. They should have kept it outlawed like it used to be back in the day.
DQ
You go to
for
the top rope and be, hey,
Yep.
you got to come down. And that would have been okay with me. So I'm in training, and I wanted to learn how to take a backdrop.
Ooh.
And so I was talking to Mike Anthony about it, and he said, well, when you take it, just push off and look up. Look up. So, me being the idiot that I am, I go to a Polish crippler. Hey, I want to work on a backdrop.
Oh, guy 6'8" and
6'8", and the instruction I got was push off and look up. So, have you ever seen the Evel Knievel jump at the Snake River Canyon?
Oh yeah. Yes, I have.
Where the thing goes, whoo, that's what I did. Excuse me. I pushed off, I looked up, and he didn't really instruct me too well about getting all this around.
Oh.
So I was like this, probably squawking, and came down like this.
Head first.
Head first. I turned at the last minute and kind of was a little bit sideways. But I couldn't feel the left side of my body.
Holy shit.
And I was laying there, and I tell some guy, is my arm still on my body? Is my arm still on? They're like, you okay? Okay. Is my arm still on my fucking body? Because it felt like it was gone.
Really?
And they're like, yeah, why? I'm like, I can't, just give me a minute. And they're like, everyone, just give me a minute. Get away from me. Everyone just give me a minute.
Yeah.
And I just rolled out of the ring, and I was like, God, that was stupid, It's like sometimes you do things without thinking.
Right.
And, accidents happen.
For sure.
So a couple days later, and so the match I had with Hurricane Smith was like October 28th, and this was probably November 10th.
Oh, is that soon after?
It was right after, because I was like, man, I'm going, man. Gratch had me, pumped up.
So you actually didn't have a second match?
No.
So you had one match?
One match.
Oh my God.
One match.
That's unbelievable.
And so a couple days later, I'm working out, and I'd been working out pretty good up to this point. And I'm doing some curls, and I'm like, oh wow, I can do this. That's heavy. Go down. I think I was doing 50s or something. Go down to 30. Oh wow. Go down to 20. 10. I was like, whoa.
Whoa, nothing there.
What's going on? So I had a friend who was a chiropractor, and I'd go to him. He was like my primary care doctor. I'd go to him for everything. Hey, I got this. Before a game, I'd go in there like my shoulder's killing me.
Nice.
Let me give you some lidocaine.
Okay.
She was some lidocaine. I tore cartilage in my knee once, and I'm like, I really want to play this game. He's like, you should really not play this game. I'm like, I really want to play this game. What can I do?
Yeah.
Okay, well, get a tennis ball and put it behind your knee and tape up your knee so you can't flex it all the way back,
okay.
or you can't straighten it out. We'll tape it up. So come by me before the game. Okay. So I did. I said, I just want this one game because I don't like this team we're playing, and I don't want to miss this game. So we did that. Played the game, scored a couple times, good game, and I was like, okay, I'm done. So I went to go see him and told him what was going on, and he said, okay, let's do a strength test. We'll start with that. And he did this arm, pulled, good, this arm. I'm like, well, you're pulling too hard. Boom, boom. So he's like, let me take an x-ray. He's like, you got a pinched nerve. Because, and now just, sometimes when I just talk about it, it's here, it comes back through here, it comes down to here and into these two fingers. These two fingers.
I was just
thank God, because it would have been.
Yeah, right. How would that work?
It would have been like Mo. Really. And so he said that was the problem. He took an X-ray, and he said, "Okay, here's your X-ray." He said, "If I didn't know any better, and at the time I'm 36 then at this time, I think if I didn't know any better, I'd say this is a 75-year-old guy who, for a living, runs headfirst into walls."
Really?
And I'm like, so what do you think?
Keep going, or yeah?
And he's like, well, you definitely can't wrestle. Yeah. And, just try not to use it. You gotta just give it time. And I'd give it some time and try and start doing something again and it'd flare up. Because I gotta work. Yeah. So I gotta use my arms.
Yeah, daily movement requires everything. Yeah,
so it's like I'd be trying to do stuff and be really careful. And so it just took a long time.
Nerves, damn it, that takes a while.
And then I went to go see him, I'd see him periodically for stuff. And then when I told him, that I was getting stronger and I was starting to work out again, he's like, do not wrestle. He said, I know you're a little nuts. Do not wrestle.
Aren't we all to get in this business?
I strongly suggest you don't, because one wrong move, you could paralyze yourself. I said, yeah, Doc, but one match. Yeah. I mean, that's no way to go out.
You gotta have more.
And he's like, I'm just telling you, do not wrestle. I'm like, okay. He's like, so when are you gonna wrestle again? I said, I'm thinking about 3 months.
He knew, right? Yeah,
and he came.
Did he really?
And he
probably
called
just
me,
to make sure, in case you hurt yourself, you would run in there.
And he came to the match.
That's cool.
And then he called me the next day and said, come into my office.
Oh, that's very cool.
And I said, oh, yeah. He goes, yeah, that was great, man. He goes, yeah, that was really good. Are you insane? He's like, I told you, do not do this.
He was probably scared to death for you watching,
yeah.
right?
He said, he goes, yeah.
So what is Mom's opinion at this point? You actually do get into wrestling and you actually do get hurt.
Yeah, I know. She never watched anything.
That was my next question. Did she ever go?
No, hell no. My dad wouldn't go. But my dad, when I was a kid and we'd be watching it, we'd all watch it. My grandmother, it was almost more fun watching her.
Oh, was she real active watching that?
Oh, yeah. Back in the day,
yep.
The older people would be at those meetings. You look in the crowd.
They were.
And it's older people in suits, hats, old ladies yelling. Yeah. My grandmother would sit on the couch in Italian, yell, Donnie! And she'd tell you, this guy, wait, he's going to get his, he's going to get him back.
That's awesome.
And she'd sit there, it was entertaining watching her.
That's hilarious.
So my parents never came to anything. They didn't watch. Every once in a while, I'd play a video.
Yeah.
And some guy would just slam me in my mouth. Oh! She'd scream at everything. I'm like, Mom, barely anything happened. No, I can't watch. I can't.
They just don't want to see their son get hurt.
Right.
I get. I totally get it.
I mean, I totally see it now. I'm on the other side of it.
Yeah.
Like my kid said, Dad, is it okay if I don't play rugby? And I'm like, don't, because I'll die inside watching you play, not wanting you to get hurt.
Or if you decide to wrestle one day.
Right.
That'd be the same thing. Like, you do whatever you want to do, right? But it's gonna be hard to watch to make sure you don't get hurt and go whatever through you went through,
right?
Because you had all that stuff happen, and for sure. We return a couple years later. The first match I have listed here, don't know if it's exactly the very first one, but 5/20 of 2000, you beat Extreme, which is later becomes Hunter Payne, at the Hammond Civic Center for the Bare Knuckles title. That is the first match back?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the first one back, and that was the 3-ring. Hammond one.
Okay.
Because we did one at Hammond. It was a stacked ring. This was 3 rings. So what was really cool about that is So I'm like, Jeff, let's just do it. So we started in one ring, battled outside into the other ring, battled outside into the third ring. So we used all, like, there's 3 rings there. Let's use them all. So yeah, that was my
Very first match back.
Yeah, that was good. That felt good.
So let's unveil the second only ever Windy City memorabilia here on the show. The owner of the Windy City Bare Knuckles title is right there, folks. That's some Chicago wrestling.
You can get a zoom on this?
Yeah, cameraman, zoom it. That's some Chicago wrestling history right there.
Right there. People love this belt.
And just we looked before we came on here too. This is a Reggie Parks belt, guys. Greatest belt maker of all time. So that's a prize of a prize right there. Windy City belt.
Yeah.
Reggie Parks belt. Yes, great quality belts. The logo on that is just awesome.
Yeah, that was good. And at first, when they started this Bare Knuckles, I don't know if they even knew what they wanted it to be. Bare Knuckles was more, is it more fighting
like
or
1800s?
Because I don't know how much. When did ECW really
really take off? 94.
Okay.
That's when Shane Douglas
I think he was trying to, go on that, but I don't think he wanted it to be hardcore, but that's kind of what was going on.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the rules for that. Is that like the hardcore title for WWF, where it was no DQ, no count out? You guys can use whatever you want.
Right.
So it was the Windy City version of that title.
Right,
In the old days, they used to call it Brass Knuckles.
Right.
So I'm sure he changed that to make it a one-of-a-kind Bare Knuckles, which makes sense because like in the 1800s and early 1900s, the guys, you'd see the tape fists, guys going at it, and they would have bare knuckle boxing. So it's a cool idea to name it that.
It's a twist on it. And what worked good for me, that style, because obviously I knew I wasn't going to be a high flyer. And with the injuries that I had, I didn't want to, it sounds so stupid, put myself at risk, but I guess getting hit in the head with a chair, or getting hit with a chair in the head, isn't too good for your neck or head. But to me, it seemed like the lesser of, well, just don't make me do a somersault or come off the top rope.
Anything but a somersault.
No 6-packs, So it worked for me, my style, because I trained, had one match. So I trained for 6 months, had one match, and then couldn't really train. Started training again, and then this came up. So I didn't have a huge arsenal of offense.
To be more of a wrestler
To be
kind
more
of
of a,
Gotcha.
So I was more, stop, kick, punch, hit, what can I...
It fit your personality so much better to have that style of wrestling because it was such a perfect mesh
it worked.
of styles.
It really did.
Yeah.
It did. It worked for me because the other wasn't going to happen, and I don't think I could have pulled it off like I did.
That you can't see yourself as a Billy Robinson style wrestler. You'd rather be a Don Fargo guy, if you remember that name, or Mad Dog Vachon. Just go in there and hurt somebody.
Right.
Yeah. 5/18 of 2002 is a Battle of the Belts. 14, you wrestle one of your, probably actually your most famous feud, actually, the guy, Julian the Warlock, to a no contest.
Okay.
So it's the early stages of
Yeah.
your feud with him that lasts
was a
all the way to the
casket
end of your
match.
career.
I think there was what did you say the result was?
No contest.
No contest because Julian made a casket. And that was the one that was called Rampage, where there were 2 rings and it was connected by steel grates that everybody...
Oh, the ramp thing? Did somebody had something to do with it? Yeah. Ripper have something to do with that?
Jeff,
Did he make it?
I don't know. But I know everybody felt it.
Took Terry DDT'd Hunter on it and split his head wide open on it. Yeah.
And so that was that match. So he built this casket, and the finish was, I was going to put him in, but, we were moving, and the lid kind of came down on it. And when I went to slam him, I couldn't close the lid on him. And so you see in the video. I'm trying to like lift the lid to close it him, and I can't. So I just jumped on him and broke it through. So we both ended up.
So you're both in there.
They wanted it to be where I went over,
yeah,
but they couldn't because I didn't close the lid. So
it's almost like double DQ, double kind of just kind of the okay.
But that was fun. They really,
which in turn kind of makes the feud go longer because it's not solved. So they actually made it better by doing that.
Well, because neither of us we both kept strong, and we had some just great. I think the next week we had another casket match at Balmoral racetrack. I don't know if you got that in there.
Pretty good.
Okay, so at this one in Morton, the first one, I got concussed pretty bad.
Oh, really?
I got these sheet pans from a bakery. You know, the big sheet pans, but they were older pans. They were heavy, and it was like thick. Mm-hmm. Where some new ones now, like some people I've seen use like, the foil pans, like this stuff.
Yes.
Hey, come on, what are you doing?
Yeah, what's it gonna do? Yeah.
So these were like pizza pans, these the large ones, but these were old ones. And like I said, they were heavy, and he walloped me with one, and I saw stars, black, bright lights, and I went down, and then again, being the idiot that I am, I'm down. I said, "Hit me again," and I came up. Boom! He hit me again. I went back and said, "Hit me again." I came up. Boom! He hit me again, and I might have said another time, "Hit me again." And he hit me, and I was like, done. And I went back, and then later in the match, he DDT'd me on that ramp.
Oh, you got it too?
So I took the face. I didn't bleed the hard way or anything, but side of the face to that thing. So I was, then afterwards, I think I remember going by Terry's house. He had some little get-together or whatever, and he's like, "Yeah, well, if I were you, I wouldn't go to sleep tonight."
He could tell you were all kind of goofy?
Yeah, I was like, I knew I didn't feel right.
Yeah.
I had the bed spins for that whole week, and then the next week, we had another show, and I didn't really tell anybody.
Yep. And
wrestled it, and I remember getting hit a couple times, like, "Woo, okay, I'm a little la-la land," but...
Yeah, Eager, 5/26 of 02.
That was the next week, and then we got a real casket for that one.
Oh, like from the funeral home, like
from
an actual
funeral home, yeah.
Ooh, that's cool.
And I came out of the we started the match. Julian's out there looking around for me, and I was in the casket with this. So all of a sudden, he's looking, and Sandra D was my manager at the time. I don't know if she opened it or if he opened it, but when it opened, I just came out with this and just started wailing on him.
That's awesome.
So
yeah, that match, he beat you for the Bare Knuckles title in Crete, Illinois.
Yeah, that one you're talking about?
That's the one,
that's where Balmoral was, I believe. And that was when Nightbreed, I don't know if they were called Nightbreed yet, but Jeff, I don't know what to call him, so I'll call him Jeff because I don't know if he was Baltazar then. He was probably Baltazar.
Yeah, this early, yes, he still was,
And Abaddon came in, grabbed me, and they tied me up in ropes.
Really?
And stuff. They tied me up, and then they, got me into the...
interesting. I never heard that story. But yeah, you didn't mention that. That's interesting.
Yeah, that was a good one, too.
All right, ready for this fact?
Oh.
736 days you were the Bare Knuckles champion. That is the longest reign of that title existence. So you are the king of the Bare Knuckles title.
There you go.
Can you believe it's been an hour already? You thought?
Look at that! I thought I'd be done.
So, folks, we're coming back with part 2, and we're going to start off talking about how this guy got introduced to the business to start part 2. Ready for part 2?
I'm ready for part 2.
We'll see you guys next time for part 2 with Vito, Two Fingers Fontaine. We'll see you guys next time.
and is like, you better put it in there, Vito. Don't worry, I will. You better. And we both like, you want to, let's do this. Okay, let's do that. Okay.
Yeah, nobody ever said no.
At some point, I was like, I'm ripping that wig off his head. So I threw him in the corner. I ripped the wig off his head. I put it on my head.
Did you really?
I shook my ass a little bit, and then I clotheslined the hell out of him. And then I came off, and I at the last minute, I tucked and rolled. It'd be really good if you beat the living hell out of it. And that'll give you some really good. So I'm like, beat the hell out of it. So he had a kendo stick.
Oh, I did see that. I was just thinking in my head if I saw it. I think I did you juicing and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
I haven't seen that match.
That was a beating.